Hello. So I have a reading today. We are going to be looking into what February is bringing forth for the collective. So I'm just going to start with a soul card. I'm going to use some oracle cards, maybe some tarot as well. And let's just see what good things are coming forth for us in February as a collective. If you're interested in seeing more of a horoscope kind of thing, for February and also March. I do have have videos for every sign. It was a 3-month forecast for January, February, and March. So if you want to go look at that, you can. If not, you can stay here just to see as a collective what we are going to be working on, or what we should expect a bit, right, in regards to this month ahead. Oh my goodness. I love before I pull the card, hold on a second. I was thinking how the month of February starts on a Wednesday, and Wednesdays are Odin's Day, and Odin has been around me for a while, like um, we might be I don't know. I might be working with him eventually, or I am trying to learn the runes, and it's if I'm learning the runes, obviously on is gonna be in my energy, but death, he's funny. So okay, I'm learning that endings are merely beginnings. That makes sense. But when I saw the card right away, I was like, that's funny. Okay, anyways. Um, It seems, you know what, the fact that I brought up Odin in my last reading that I was doing, that was a pick a pow. I don't remember specifically which one was now. Oh, I think it was the spiritual gifts. I kept seeing in the cards different goddesses and gods and all of that, and I did mention it, but it's like I think the collective this collective that I keep tapping into, is it's a collective of spiritual people who are maybe practitioners in their own way, that they seem to have deities reaching out to them, to work with them. That's interesting. All right. So yeah, deaths are just new beginnings. That even in the death card in tarot, that's really an acceptance. Holy crap. Okay. I'm learning to accept the things that I cannot change. Okay. So there seems to be some, I'm just going to do one more. An abundance. Okay, I know what the message is now. There seems to be some kind of ending coming up, right? That you're going to really, it's going to it's going to make space for abundance to come in, right? So wherever something run its course, right, and you are dealing, and you are in the energy of accepting that this is just how things are going to be, and you're keeping faith and trusting that better things are coming, right? Boom, there's the abundance. I'm a limitless being, and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. So, you know what it is? It's kind of I'm hearing, be careful what you wish for, but not in a threatening way, but it is in a way a warning, if you will, right? So if you've been craving change, if you've been craving maybe not working where you're working anymore because you want to do something that's more aligned with your beliefs, for example, well, there has to be an ending to that, right? There has to be, you could be getting laid off, getting fired, you could quit because you are your wits end, right? There's a death that needs to happen in some area of your life, that it almost like, even though it's like this, it almost feels like it all stands from this, because you see how these two are the same color kind of, and then acceptance is in the middle. So by you accepting the fact that, for example, the job that you're at is simply not in alignment with who you are anymore, it's almost like God realizes, okay, they're ready for the change. It's like the death to that situation. And I'm saying job, but this could apply to a relationship. This could apply to, it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be platonic. It could be friendship. It could be family. It could, like, it's a death to some aspect of, even I mentioned you might be a practitioner, so you could, there's a death to maybe some kind of divination that you're doing. You're leaving it aside because you're wanting something else to come in, right? Maybe you're stopping, you're not doing this particular thing anymore because now you want to work with deities, for example, something like that. But it all stems from acceptance, right? Accepting that things have to end for other things to begin. Excuse me. And they're saying now, even if it's, if you're just going to start again with the same kind of situation, I don't know what that means. Okay, it's like, if you accept that this certain things has run its course, and you just let it go, let it end, and trust that there's a new beginning, it's almost like maybe even the same kind of job is presented to you, but what makes it different and what makes it now an abundant place where you're limitless, if you will, is the people that you work with. You know what I mean? It's not, so at the end of the day, for example, it wasn't that you shouldn't be, I don't know, a doctor. Maybe it was that at the hospital or the clinic that you were working in, it felt really hard to even be what you wanted to be. Therefore, what? You didn't change your profession, but you changed locations, for example. You changed the people that you work with. Something like that. That's good. Okay. That's an interesting way to begin this, if you will. All right. I'm going to do more oracles to see. These might be separate messages, but it might also tie into all of this. Let's just see what it is. So there's a death, an ending to something. It stems from you accepting that things just need to change. There's space to be made for new things to come in, right? For the things that maybe you've asked for, you prayed for, resolutions that you made in the beginning of the year. One thing cannot come in without it having a place in your life, if you will. And that applies for a lot of you. It seems to be tied into your purpose, but it also could be tied into a relationship. So that's really interesting. Wow. Yeah. There's this acceptance again. So activated earth, power places, ley lines, trust where you're led. So yeah, there is an ending to something. Some of you could be moving, right? Trust where you're led. That could, that says to me something about maybe there's literal movement. Well, I did mention that already, where like you could go from one job to the other. It's not the profession, it was the environment that you were in, if you will. Ooh, these cards wanted to just, all right. Trust where you're led. That this card is beautiful because it speaks about not just what speaks to me, because I'm seeing it in the pictures. It speaks to me about like there's that acceptance. Like it's almost like there's this enlightenment trying to come through, right? And you accepting it opens up new opportunities for you. I'm telling you, some of you, if you are someone who does spiritual work in the sense of like you actively like do maybe some, I don't know, candle magic, you're a scryer, you use your spiritual gifts in some kind of way. It doesn't have to be for others. It could just be in your, in I was going to say in the comfort of your own home, but it's for you. It's for your growth. There are deities that want to work with you, and this should be a confirmation for you. Again, you don't look, honestly, I don't know too much about deity work, but from what I've seen other people that do this kind of work, right, on TikTok and stuff like that, that they've been doing it for years and they're not just talking out of their ass, if you will, about, I work with so and so or whatever, because you could tell who's real, who's not, right? They speak about that it's almost like you don't reach out to them, they reach out to you. You're going to get signs and synchronicities. You are going to naturally wonder about why, for example, you're seeing crows all the time and you look it up and then you see that it's tied into this deity and you're like, oh, that makes sense. And then you look into it more and there's research to be had. It's not you just one day decide that you're going to work with a certain deity and boom, it's happening. No, it's almost like a build up. Why? Because it's such a powerful energy. I don't think they could just literally stand in front of you or like even just, it's not like that. It's there's an initiation, there's a process to it, if you will. There's also the death is leading me back to there has to be a death to kind of like your limitations or how you view this kind of work, to kind of to accept them into your energy. There's boundaries. Obviously, if you have boundaries, and obviously if deity is reaching out to you, is because you know that you're a practitioner who is ready for that next step. That's not something that you can, that it's just anybody has access to. Even if people want to say that everyone does, I I mean that's just my opinion, but that doesn't seem like it's like that. I'm not saying that you cannot pray to certain deities. You don't need any kind of anything to just be a devotee of someone, if you will. But for them to reach back to you and want to like co-create with you or pass along knowledge, because I think that's all they do, honestly. Deities don't seem to like magically make things appear for you and stuff like that. If anything, they kind of help you broaden your perspective, broaden your mind. There's a lot of education and dedication that comes with that work. Some of you definitely are heading that way. This message. I can't speak now. This method. Oh my goodness. This message just turned into that. It turned into some of you being reached, having a deity reach out to you, and they're really trying. They're really trying their best to. Interesting karmic relationships. Hold on a second. So Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, and conflict. You see how they seem to be on two earth. This is one earth, this is another one, but it's almost like when there's that death and acceptance thing. It's like you have to realize that you've outgrown what. It's like some of you have outgrown the spiritual tools or the spiritual the ways that you communicate with the divine. You've reached a point where you have outgrown it. It's time for you to move forward into another thing, if you will, or another way of approaching the same thing, right? Because there is still, it's going from an earth to another earth, but it's almost like, yeah, you've outgrown, you've learned as much as you can here. There's a sense of like graduation of some kind. Interesting. The bottom of the deck. We the Hathors, deep love, mother's milk, birth as a portal. So yeah, it's like you have outgrown death and rebirth, birth as a portal. It's like you have outgrown where you are in a spiritual journey sense. It's time for you to move forward. And if this is not in a spirituality sense, it is in the sense of you've outgrown where you work. You've outgrown maybe your friend group. You've outgrown, and I'm take this with a grain of salt. Don't just, this should be confirmation, right? Is what I'm saying. Like you can't just go based on, and I'm not saying that you will, but like you can't just go based on someone's reading saying, I should never speak to any of my friends ever again and then do that. No, obviously, don't do that. But if this is kind of like you've been feeling almost like trapped, or you've been feeling like you don't fit in where you are anymore, it's time to let it die, let it all end in some kind of way, so that you can move to better places, a better there's a clearly abundance waiting for you. And this is in any aspect, okay? Not We're not just talking about money. It seems to be there's abundance waiting for you in this other place, where it's it's like knowledge. It's a well it's wealth, and in a what is it, in the aspect of knowledge, understanding, peace. If what you've been seeking is like less resistance, more connection to yourself, your soul, something meaningful to be working towards, stuff like that. That's what this energy wants to lead you into. February is going to be a very impactful month for this collective that I'm reading here. It's going to be one that not just brings a lot of change, but it's good change. It's not just change for the sake of being change. I mean, not that it ever is, right? Just change for being change, but there we are as a collective trying to accept that we need to make space for new things. That's the message right there. Make space for new things. Wow, talk about death and rebirth. My goodness. The fact that they even look with like the same colors, this is so incredible. Rebirth. Reinvent yourself, give life to your dreams, create a new reality. Well, there you are. Really, again, it's like your prayers are being answered. What you've been wanting to change is going to change, and it all stems again from having acceptance of things. And acceptance always comes in with gratitude as well, right? You cannot be accepting of situation, things, people, unless you also have gratitude for even how little or how much or how great or how bad or whatever it is. You just accept things for what they are, and that comes from a grateful place, from someone that has a grateful soul, a grateful heart. It also comes from not judging, so from non-judgment, if you will. So of course, there's that gets like the ball rolling, if you will. And it's a big step to even look at situations that you don't want to be in anymore, as as a way of saying, hey, at least I learned enough from here. It's okay. Like I know better things are coming my way. Discernment. All is not what it seems. Stay true to your knowing. Keep your dreams a secret. That's interesting. Because part of discernment, this is what I think I was describing discernment, right? You know when things are not meant for you. But it's like you don't have to voice your dislike or disdain of them. It's like you accept them for what they are. You're grateful for the knowledge. You're grateful for the soul lessons. And you allow everything to run its course because you know that there's better things coming. Also, the dreams that you've had, like these things that you've been praying for, if you will, they're for you, your soul, your higher self, and your God to deal with. Keep it to yourself. When you're in transition of things, it is best to just, and I don't want you to think that you sharing your goals or your dreams, your good news with other people, is always like, I'm gonna get evil eye, or people are just gonna be envious and they're gonna fuck up my plans and stuff like that. Not saying that it doesn't happen. It does happen. but it's more of when you yourself are still in the process, right? You're in the building stages of things. You yourself have learned that not even you know exactly how things will play out, right? So you are co-creating with spirit in that moment. Keep it that way, because if you share it with others, it's almost like they chime into your dream, if you will. They chime into your path, and then there could be. It's not that people would affect it, even unknowingly. They probably will, but um, what is the message there? I know what I want to say, but I don't have like the words to say it, if you will. It's almost like when you share things with others that maybe, again, it's not their path, it's yours, it's unique to you, right? It's impossible to expect them to fully even understand it, first of all, or if you're seeking advice, they're saying seek advice from self, from your soul. Connect to your spirit guides, connect to people that connect to, pray, if you will. It's not about asking others, because your path is unique to you, and unknowingly people will probably impose their limitations upon you, because that's just the natural thing that we do. When you cannot conceive something, and not everybody does this, but a lot of people do this. They would kind of like break down even what you want to do without knowing that they're breaking it down. And I don't mean breaking it down in the dissecting it way, which yes, it kind of goes hand in hand, but breaking it down in the sense of like, how are you even going to do that? Like, it's like, don't, that's not what you want to hear in that moment, because you're in that metamorphosis place. It's kind of like, keep yourself as pure as you can, in the sense of like no limitations at all, not even from yourself, if you will. All is not what it seems, right? Not even to you. So if things are not what they seem, even to you, who you know yourself best, sharing it with others will just add to the confusion. It's like you're having a rebirth in some aspect of your life, and if you share it too early with people, if you will, it's almost like it's like when you're born as a child and then you're conditioned with things, right? It's going to be like that. It's going to feel that way. Like the conditioning of others is going to affect you, and then it's kind of like you're not and then the karmic relationships being here, it makes sense. Like the people who are not soul family, if you will, or they're not in again, they don't have the same path as you, or even remotely as you. And there is nothing wrong with being friends or having family members like that, or even co-workers. However, you know, as a person, you can share your good news with and who you cannot share it with. And if you do not know, and your discernment could be a little cloudy, the best thing to do is to not share it with anybody until you have clarity, if you will. If you, again, it goes back to, if you yourself don't have clarity about much that's going on around you, you're just trusting and accepting, you cannot share that with anybody else, because it's not going to make sense to them. It probably will just cause you more anxiety, or um, it will impose limitations upon you, because you yourself are trying to break away from those chains in the first place, from those conditionings. So you cannot share how to break away from your conditioning with people who are conditioned, who were conditioned just like you, if you will. Keep it to yourself for now, is what the divine is saying. Oh my God. Yep. Partnership. Teamwork will give you a better result. Find trustworthy people to partner with. Build up a talented support team. Again, it has to be the people who really resonate with this, with you and what you want to do. It's not going to be everybody. There's that death again, where like there seems to be a lot of relationships, or things that are going to have to end in order for you to make space for the new, for soul family, it seems. A lot of this collective seems to be leaving people behind, not in again, not in a bad way, but kind of like it's okay to distance yourself from those who don't get you or don't support the things that you want to be working on, if you will. Your path forward. It's okay. Don't feel guilty for that. It's part of the growth. You know, sometimes you just outgrow certain relationships. You outgrow certain jobs. You outgrow dynamics with family or codependency. You outgrow certain things. But while you're doing the growing and while you're doing while you're shifting towards a more aligned path, if you will, it's a very unique thing to you. It's something that probably only you could understand, right? So it's not time to share it until you have a full, complete picture, if you will. February is going to be, again, I'm going to say it, a very intense month for this collective. I'm going to do 3 more oracles, and then I think I'm going to do a little bit of tarot just to see where this... It's all kind of related. Their success, wow. It's all kind of related, but at the same time, I can see how it could mean different things for different people, and it could be different messages for different people as well. Like over here, it's about trusting the right people with your. It's almost like it's like you're fresh out of a rebirth. You have to trust the right people because again you're so fresh out. You're very impressionable. Keep it's better to be right, to have the guidance from God, if you will, than it is from others at that time when you're freshly out of a big change, if you will. It The divine is not going to lead you astray, is what they're saying here. Success, secret spring, secret. Exactly. You keep this a secret, please. And it's not in a malice way. Like you're not hiding things from anybody. It's like you're just keeping your growth to yourself for now. Because that's how it's meant to be. That's how it's going to flourish into this abundance for you. Wow. Yep. Butterfly spirit transformation. My goodness. This card also came out in that reading that was mentioning that it was like the deities kept coming up. This is Aphrodite. That's crazy. Aphrodite is here. All right. Willow spirit, flexibility. Leads me to this acceptance card. I think that's you. Well, acceptance and death kind of come together for me right now with this card. You're just letting the flow of things. You're just letting things happen and see how it turns out. It's going to turn out good. Oh, there's a black kitty outside. I don't see them often, but I see them sometimes. Oh, they're the cuties. Hold on, I have to go get her food. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I think it like left, but I left some tuna out for the kitty. Well, wet food. All right. So I think I am going to use some tarot. Yeah, let's just do it. Why not, right? Why not? There is a rebirth coming, without a doubt. They're asking you to stay flexible, to accept this transformation that's coming. And it's leading you to success, abundance, whatever that means to you, and whatever, sorry, a card fell. In whatever aspect of your life this is, right? you've been waiting for this growth. This is the card that fell, the Seven of Pentacles. So you've been tending to your garden. You've been tending to the root of the problem, if you will. I'm seeing here. This also reminds me of the Magician, even though it's not the Magician card. He is kind of like putting energy into this. You've been working at this for a while. You've been asking for this change, and it's coming. It's coming for you, but it's it's very dear to you, which is why, even though you've been putting a lot of work in, right? It's almost like you're asking why you haven't seen a lot of growth from it. Again, sometimes you need to move away from certain things in order to prosper correctly, if you will. And that is what this whole message has kind of been about. Like, especially this side right here, where it's like, be careful, you know, who you share things with. Or, again, you're sometimes it's another seven. See, there's a little bit of confusion here. And this confusion could be, yeah, it makes sense, because I was gonna say, you know, sometimes you have to step away from those people in the I'm looking at the karmic thing again. Like, until you step away from the places, relationships, connections that no longer serve you, it's kind of like justice cannot come in for you and for those people, if you will. Like, sometimes the wrong relationship, the wrong attachments can bring out the worst in both of those people. And it doesn't mean that that is what those, you know, you and that person are bad people, but together you bring out the worst in each other, because you were meant to learn a certain lesson and then walk away, kind of like, it not keep trying again and again and again for a different result. It's what it seems here. um, three of Three of Pentacles. I said Three of Cups. Yeah, there's going to be trustworthy people around you. This is celebration, and this is like soul family thing is making me think of. So when you step away from the environment that has stunted your growth, right? Or and you step away from maybe sharing your passions, and you're investing a lot of emotional energy into the wrong things again, the stepping away from what keeps you confused again and again, keeping you from your own growth, even though you've been pouring into yourself, it seems like it always comes out wrong, empty, the wrong thing. When you let go of that, you step into a different, interesting. You find soul family, and this is that death thing. It's almost like you realize now that in order to acquire this, you do have to let it go. You have a lot of things to let go of, but you're almost there. You're almost there. Um, with the Nine of Pentacles. Oh, Five of Pentacles. You see what I mean? Where, like, I see it again. It's like this success, abundance, relationships are good for you. They're in the middle. They're in the middle of this energy where it's like a lot of work, little payoff, a lot of confusion, a lot of investment, but still you come back confused, you come back hurt. A lot of sleepless nights, anxiety, abandonment issues, just hurt, pain, lack again. Even though you've been working towards something, it still seems like it's not enough. Maybe because you're pouring it into the wrong things, or the wrong relationships, the wrong environments. Until you step, the key being here, it's like, until you open that door and you leave, right? You close the door behind you. You cannot walk into this success. Oh my God, as I pull this card, are you kidding? Literally walking into this success. You go from the Seven of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles to the Knight of Pentacles. And that is the death and rebirth here. It's like you're someone who really steps forward on your path very carefully. You take a lot of things into consideration. And you do this this is you and the divine, right? It's not you and other people. Not until you need other people, if you will. Not until you're on the right track will the right people come in, because you're not on the right track for those people to meet you, if you will, right? So that kind of makes sense. Um, it's with this I'm seeing like everything that you touch kind of turns to gold, but you have to be in the right environment, if you will, for that to happen. Wow, King of Swords. And you have a lot of guides around you. You have a lot of spiritual beings trying supporting you. There's wisdom, there is knowledge, there's foresight, there's psychic abilities, there is a lot of truth and a lot of knowledge that you carry. It's like part of your path is being successful as you share all of this knowledge with other people. But again, you have to make sure you share it with the right people. It's like you can attain these things until you are not only trusting yourself fully, because you're the one who knows your path best, but also making sure that you share the fruits of your labor with the right people. Okay, it's not everybody deserves your time, your energy, your knowledge, your passion, your drive, your abundance, your success. Not everybody deserves to share that with you. And that's not being harsh, mean, judgmental. It's just the truth of the matter, right? Why would you call up an ex that was abusive to you in any capacity, or to share good news? Like, you wouldn't do that, right? It's kind of like that. Spirit is saying keep things to yourself, and only share with those that deserve it, because not everybody deserves it. Some people are going to have to go get it for themselves. Other people are just going to get it. They're going to be shared the success or whatever from another source. It doesn't have to be you always who brings your good energy to others, to kind of supplement what they lack. Keep it to yourself for now. Keep working on your growth. The more that you do, the more that you step away from the anxiety, the lack, the overworking with little pay, the confusion, and you walk into a more solid thing, if you will. Wow, the Hermit, beautiful. Again, there's that just inner knowing. You're on a quest to know yourself best, and therefore it leads you to success. Wow, Eight of Pentacles. It's like you go on this quest, right? You achieve this inner knowledge of yours, and you go from the 7 to 8, where now you are putting in the work, but in a new way. You see how this is more impactful than this card? It's like, and there's that divination. There's some of you are practitioners of some kind in your own right, in your own little, chunk of spirituality, if you will, or belief. You're protected as you do this. You have to know that you have the power to accept whatever it is that you want, that you feel like you deserve. Another 7. That's why I'm putting it over here. 777 could be significant for you. Wow, another 5. Interesting. There's that inner struggle though, because I think you're someone who might feel compelled to, when you have something, you just want to share it with others. And that's in all aspect of things, right? Money, knowledge, I don't know, everything. It's like the divine is saying it's time to keep some things for yourself while you grow and grow a little bit more into who you really are. You know yourself better. And then just allow things to kind of come into your life. Allow the right people, the right opportunities. Just keep being a grateful, accepting person, right? Another king, beautiful. See, so you alchemize this energy into the 7 of Cups, into the King of Cups. There is a lot of mastery. There's mastery over your mind, There's mastery over your emotions. And it's, mastery is not controlling anything, is allowing your mind, your, maybe your overthinking in the past to actually now be, right, Nine of Swords to the King of Swords, the overthinking, the anxiety now becomes a way for you to attain knowledge, right? The confusion and the emotional pain and all of that, you allow that to teach you how to be an emotional, intelligent person. Beautiful. The lack here, in the Five of Pentacles, the pain, the hurt, the loneliness. Well, these two energies, it's almost like you alchemize that into the Hermit. Okay, you're like, okay, if I'm going to be alone, at least I'm going to learn from my time alone. And you do. You do. That's crazy. Crazy beautiful. All right. Oh, okay. You jumped out. You had to come out here. All right. The moon. You know what? This leads me to the discernment card. Not everything is as it seems. That's literally the moon in one sentence, if you will. Um, but you know what? If falling over here, it's really funny because it's like she's on this cliff, right? And it's almost like after you attain this knowledge, it's like you jump into the depths of your psyche, the depths of your shadow work, if you will. And you're allowing, now you're working with the moon, now you're working with polarities, right? And you're allowing that to teach you something too. That's beautiful. What a powerful month. What a powerful transformative month, I should say. 18, that's up to 9, and 9 is down here. Wow. The Lovers, choice. It could be in a relationship sense, obviously the Lovers, but what I'm seeing right away is choice. There's a choice to be made. um, and I think the choice to be made is not a huge one. It is impactful in many ways, but it's, the choice to be made is to choose yourself, choose your growth, your path. It's time to step into your power in that sense. And it's as simple as just deciding that you're going to do things for you. And that is enough sometimes to bring about the death, the rebirth, the acceptance, the all of these good energies that want to come in. It's like you choose what you want to do, and then you just allow the path to unfold before you. How beautiful. Because now I'm seeing soul growth here. It's like the soul growth comes from previous hardships and things that you've had to go through that were maybe not the best of situations, and they could have been very painful, but they taught you a lot. The divine is also saying you've outgrown a lot of that stuff, so it's time to let it go. With the 2 5s here, it's change. Speaks to change. And the 6 in the Lover speaks to balance. Infinite wealth, infinite possibilities for you here with the 8 as well. It's interesting how I'm looking at numbers now in numerology. Some of you could read like birth chart, or there's some, this collective seems very tapped into their own practice of something, whether that be astrology, it could be tarot, it could be deity work, it could be, I'm hearing Akashic records, it could be you decipher things through numerology. Ooh, human design for some of you. How interesting. I've tried to look into my human design stuff, and it's hard. So if you're one of those people that naturally is inclined and can learn, you just have a natural ability to understand like the human design chart and all of that. That's crazy cool. Like, wow. The fact that came through. Okay. I think think we're done here. I think I want to pull one more card. I just don't know what deck I want to use for that. Oh, I know what deck I'm going to use. The Animal Spirit deck. Because we're going to read whatever card comes out. All right. Let's see. Animal Spirit. Just want to get one card. Let's see. And this could be like synchronistic for you at the moment, or it could be synchronistic with the month of February. Ooh, Cobra, nice. The fact that it's a Cobra and then the bottom of the deck is a mouse. Okay. But we're only looking at Cobra, okay? All right. What a fiery, it's fire energy, but it's like defending your post, defending yourself, your what you want to do is what I'm hearing. It's interesting. It's like defending your passion, defending your the beauty that's around you. It's like you're protecting. It's like comes from I don't remember what this card is about, so I have to read it because I really don't remember. All right. Oh, I like how the page number is 141 because it's just leave it here for you in case you wanna. So 141 is like mirrors, right? 141. Okay. So it says pausing, right, waiting, the inner teacher. Interesting. That's their acceptance part and the rebirth. You have to wait for you to kind of like be back on your feet, if you will, be back to a place of solid. You have a solid concise plan to move forward. Again, don't share that with anybody. Don't ask anybody for advice. Ask spirit if you need to, and ask yourself. Inner knowing. It's very interesting. Okay. So it says, when in balance, a student of life, humble and wise. When out of balance, know-it-all and egocentric. To bring into balance, taking a class and study. The fact that I brought up the deity work in the beginning about having to approach it from a sense of like you have to study, you have to learn things. It doesn't just you're not just naturally going to be contacted by deities to work with you or something like that. That's interesting. There's some studying to do. I think the more that you know, right? Like in the tarot, it came out where like you go from the Seven of Pentacles to the to the Knight of Pentacles, where like you you work on something over and over again. You become a student of your own life, student of your own emotions and things that you've been through, harsh or not, and you alchemize it, you turn it into knowledge for you, and therefore the knowledge turns into success and abundance as well, because it helps you align to the path that you're supposed to be on. It's almost like you are doing the thing, you're doing life how you're supposed to be doing it. You know, it's like you're learning from your mistakes, you're learning from the good, the bad, the ugly, and you're implementing that. Beautiful. The cobra represents a teacher or spiritual guardian. The cobra hovers and watches over present, over protecting, over loving. Yeah, over protecting for sure. Because as soon as I saw, I was like, protecting, protecting. You're protecting something. The essence of the cobra is found deep within us in the form of inner teacher. It manifests externally in those special guides who led us along our path. Wow. So some of you are going to start working with different spirit guides, or your spirit guides are going to come to the forefront and fully let you know who they are. And some of you have deities as your spirit guides, and that's going to like blow your mind. Wow. What would it feel like to be a student again? What are you ready to learn? Remember the old saying, when a student is ready, the teacher appears. Oh my freaking god. That's so synchronistic. Wow. Definitely deities are out here trying to reach out to a lot of people or trying to make themselves known. because they each have their own message and their own knowledge to pass along, and they're finding trustworthy souls to share it with. And you, if you're watching this, you're one of them. You're gonna have to really keep an eye out and for signs and synchronicities that you're getting. Again, become a wonder, a student of life again. See things as if you're used to already like seeing angel numbers everywhere, repeating numbers and stuff like that. It's time to broaden your spectrum of what you're seeing as well, and like not just look up the angel numbers, but now try to make sense of them on your own, if you will. For others of you, you're going to have to pay attention to the animals that kind of keep coming up to your awareness, or maybe the messages that you keep seeing in timelines, whatever kind of social media, for example, because we all spend time on social media, that you use, whatever's coming up again and again, pay attention to that. Wow. Your spirit guides in general are trying to reach you. It's like they're knocking at your door saying, hey, you're ready for this alignment. You're ready to let go of a lot, to make space for more. So what a beautiful reading. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful month ahead, and I'll see you in the next one.